children, the next chapter we are going to see is chapter 12, structure query language, that is SQL. So what do you mean by structure query language? Structure query language is a language which is used to querying the data from database management system. So the last lesson we had seen about database management system, and that lesson too I had insist. So SQL is a structure query language which is used to access and manipulate the database. So now we are going to see the introduction to SQL. Take page number 205 in your textbook. So the structure query language is a standard programming language to access and manipulate database. Underline that line. What do you mean by SQL means? It's a standard programming language to access and manipulate databases. So SQL allows the user to create, retrieve, alter and transfer information among databases. Underline that functions. So SQL allows the user to create, retrieve, alter and transfer information among databases. It is a language designed for managing and accessing data in relational database management system. So last lesson we had seen the difference between DBMS and RDBMS. So RDBMS means it's a relational database management system. Underline that line. So RDBMS, the expansion of RDBMS is relational database management system. There are many versions of SQL. The original version was developed at IBM Research Center and originally called as SQL in early 1970s. So in 1970s, the SQL's original version is called as SQL. So later the language was changed to SQL. In 1986, ANSI, underline that line, the expansion of ANSI is American National Standard Institute, published an SQL standard that was updated again in 1992. The latest SQL was released in 2008. Now we are using the version 2008 version and named as SQL 2008. So latest SQL standard as of now is SQL 2008, released in 2000 year in the year 2008. Then what are the roles of SQL in RDBMS? RDBMS means it's a relational database management system. Then what are the role of SQL? SQL means it's a structured query language. The role of SQL in RDBMS. So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Oracle, the example of RDBMS are Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server. MS SQL means it's a Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, then Microsoft Access or RDBMS packages. It's a 2 more question. What are the packages available in RDBMS? So it's Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL Server, IBM DB2 and Microsoft Access. So SQL is a language used to access data in such databases. So SQL is nothing but the language which is used to access the data from this type of database like Oracle SQL, MySQL and MS SQL. So in general, database is a collection of tables. Last lesson we had seen about that. The structure of databases, it's like a tables, that is it consists of rows and columns. So in general, the database is the collections of tables that store sets of data that can be queried for use in the other applications. A database management system supports the development, administration and the use of database platforms. RDBMS is a type of DBMS with a row-based table structure. So RDBMS is a, underline that line, row-based table structure that connects related data elements and includes functions related to create. What are the functions? Create, read, update, delete operations are collectively known as CRUD, CRUD. Okay. So C for create, R for read, U for update and D for delete. The data in RDBMS is stored in database objects called tables. So it is stored in the structure, table structure. A table is collections of related data entries and it consists of rows and column. So the field is a column in a table that is designed to maintain specific related information about every record in the table. So field is nothing but the specific information. Suppose if it is a serial number, means it's a serial number alone we can see in the first field. Then it is a roll number means that roll number around we can see in the second field. So the field is nothing but the column in a table, that is the vertical line that is designed to maintain specific related information about every record in the table. So it is a vertical entity that contains all information associated with a specific field in the table. The fields in a student table may be the type of admission number, student name, student age, student class and place, etc. Then what do you mean by record? Record is nothing but the row, that is the horizontal line. So a record is a row which is a collection of related fields or columns that exist in a table. So a record is a horizontal entity in a table which represents the details of a particular student. So in case if you are taking one record means it is a one row, full one row. So it gives the particular student's entire detail, admission number, student name, student age, student class and place. Then processing skills of SQL. The various processing skills of SQL, here we have various commanding languages, commands, then functions. So first one is a data definition language, DDL, that is called DDL. So DDL means it's a data definition language. The SQL DDL provides commands for defining the relation schemas. What do you mean by schema? Schema means nothing but the structure. So what is the structure of RDBMS means it looks like a table that is consists of rows and columns. So the data definition means you can give the structure of the RDBMS. So the database structure can be given by using the data definition language. So the SQL DDL provides commands for defining a relation structure, that is table structure, then deleting relations, then creating indexes and modifying. So what are the commands available in DDL means defining the structure, that is creating a data, then deleting, then creating indexes, then modifying. Then the second one is a data manipulation language. What do you mean by manipulation? Manipulation means you can make some changes, otherwise any computational works. So the SQL DML includes commands to insert, delete and modify the tuples in the database. So it's a interactive language. Data manipulation language is a interactive language. You can give the commands like insert, delete and modify tuples in the database. Then the third one is the embedded data manipulation language. What do you mean by embedded? Embedded means it's a host programming language. Only host can using this embedded manipulation language. So the embedded form of SQL is used in the high level programming language. So only it's not an interactive language, it's a host programming language. Then the fourth one is a view definition. View definition means what? View definition means the SQL also includes commands for defining the views of tables. Suppose in case if you want to view the data in the tables means you have to use the view definition commands. Then authorization. What do you mean by authorization? Authorization means you have the permission to access the data. So that is the authorization. So authorization, the SQL includes commands for access, rights to relations and views of tables. Then integrity. What do you mean by integrity? Integrity means it's a accuracy and consistency. So the SQL provides the forms for integrity checking using conditions. Then the final one is transactional control. The SQL includes commands for file transactions and control over transaction processing. So do you know here 206, the last one is, do you know SQL is a structured query language used for accessing databases, while MySQL is a database management system like SQL Server, Oracle, Informix, Postgres, etc. MySQL is a RDBMS. Then the next topic is how to create a database. So to create a database you have to use the DDL commands, that is create command, and to work with a database you have to use the use command. Okay, take page number 207, creating database. So to create a database, type the following command in the prompt. So the syntax is create database, then database name, that is the general form of creating a database. The example is create database is a command, then database name is your user defined name in anything. Suppose if it is a students table means you can give the stud is a table database name. Otherwise employees table means you can give the employee as a database name. Then the second one, to work with a database, type the following command. How do you work with after creating a database? You have to work with database obviously. So how do you work with a database? You have to use database. So the command is use database. Then the database name is student. So the next one is components of SQL. Components of SQL, we have DML, that is data manipulation language, DDL, data definition language, DCL, data control language, TCL, transaction control language, and DQL means it's a data query language. So first one is a data definition language. So data definition language, here you see the commands of SQL commands in PowerPoint. You can see the SQL commands. For DDL we have create, alter, truncate and drop. Then for DML means it's a data manipulation language. For this we have insert, update and delete. Then DCL means it's a data control language, grant and revoke. Then for TCL means it's a transaction control language. For this we have the commands save point, rollback and commit. Then the last one is data query language. For this we have a select command. So the first we are going to see one by one. First one is a DDL language, that is data definition language. So the data definition language consists of SQL statements used to define the database structure or schema. So the main purpose of DDL is it is used to define the database structure. It simply deals with the descriptions of the database schema and is used to create and modify the structure of database objects in the database. So it is simply deals with the description of database schema, how the database will look like. So how many rows you want, how many columns you want, how the table will look like, and it is used to create and modify the structure. In case if you want to modify the structure means you can use the DDL, that is data definition language. Then the DDL provides a set of definitions to specify the storage structure and access methods used by the database system. Okay, then the DDL performs the following functions. What are the functions can be performed by the DDL? The first point, it should identify the type of data divisions such as data item, segment, record and database files. So it should identify the type of data division. What are the types of data we have to store in the database record or in the database file. Then it gives a unique name to each data item type, record type, file type and the database. So it gives the unique name to each data items. Then it should specify the proper data type, what type of data we have to store, whether it is numeric, character, float, real, double, something like that. Then the fourth point is it should define the size of the data item. So size of the data item means the maximum number of datas. Then it may define the range of values that data item may be used, from this value to that value. The range is the starting value to ending value. Then so the sixth point is it may specify privacy locks for preventing unauthorized data entry. That means unauthorized data entry means it may prevent from accessing the data, preventing the data, accessing the data from unauthorized persons. Okay. The next one, SQL commands which come under data definition languages. So what are the SQL commands comes under the DDL? The first command is create. What do you mean by create? Create means obviously you have to define the structure of the data, creates the table structure. So how many rows, how many columns, what are the fields you have to specify, how many records you have to specify. So this and all comes under the create command. Then the second command is alter command. Alter means you have to change the structure of the database. You can change the structure of the database. Then third command is drop command. Drop means you can delete the table from database. So for deleting the table from database you have to use the command drop. Then the final one is truncate. Truncate means it removes all the records from table. also releases the space occupied by those records. So it not delete the truncate means it not delete the table, but it will remove all the records from the table and also releases the space occupied by those records. Then the next command is data manipulation language, that is DML. So a data manipulation language is a computer programming language used for adding, that is inserting, then removing means deleting, and modifying, updating the data in the database. So the DDL command, it is used to create, alter, delete the tables. But in DML command, it is used to insert, delete and updating the data in the database, not a table, data in a database. In SQL, the data manipulation language compresses the SQL data change statements which modify stored data but not the structure of the database table. That is, schema means it's a structure. So the data manipulation language compresses the SQL data change statements. So it will compress only the changing of data, not a structure of table, okay, which modifies stored data but not the schema of the database table. So DML is mainly used for inserting, deleting, updating the data in the database, not the structure of the table. After the database schema has been specified and the database has been created, the data can be manipulated using the set of procedures which are expressed by DML. So after you are creating your database structure, table structure, the data can be manipulated through the what language? Data manipulation language. So by data manipulation we means, what do you mean by data manipulation? So it means insertion of new information into the database. In case if you want to insert a new record or a new student information means you have to use the insert command. Then retrieval means what? Retrieval of information stored in the database. Retrieval means what? Accessing the data. Then deletion of information from database. Then modification means updating the database. Then data manipulation language. In the DML is basically you have two types. One is a procedural DML, another one is a non-procedural DML. What do you mean by procedural DML? It requires a user to specify what data is needed and how to get it. So it requires the user to specify what data is needed and how to get it. Then what do you mean by non-procedural DML? It gives only the what data you want, but it will not specifying how to get it. So the procedures here in non-procedural DML, the procedures you don't know the procedure, but what data you want to access, that you know, but you don't know the procedure of how to get it. So in DML you have two types. One is procedural DML, another one is a one is the procedural DML, requires a user to specify what data is needed and how to, and also how to get it. The non-procedural means it requires a user to specify what data is needed but without specifying how to get it. Then what are the commands we are going to use in data manipulation language? The first command is insert data into a table. Second one is update, updates the existing data within a table. Third one is delete, deletes all records from a table but not the space occupied by them. It deletes all the records from the table but not the space occupied by them means what? The memory space which are occupied by the deleted data, it will be there, still there, but only the records will be deleted using the delete command. Then the next one is data control language, page number 209, data control language. So a data control language, DCL, is a programming language used to control the access of data stored in the database. So it is used to control the access of data, who has to retrieve the data, what data they have to retrieve. This type of accessing will be controlled by the data control language. So it is used for controlling privileges in the database, that is authorization. It gives the authorization, permission to access the data. The privileges are required for performing all the database operations such as creating sequences, use of tables, something like that. So what are the commands in DCL? First one is grant, second one is that opposite procedure, revoke. Grant means what? It will give the permission to one or more users to perform a specific task. Revoke means they have withdrawn the permission given by the grant statement. Then the next one is fourth one is transactional control language. Transactional control language, that is TCL. Commands are used to manage transactions in the database. These are used to manage the changes made to the data in the table by DML statements. So what is the purpose of TCL means? It is used to manage the changes made to the data in the table by DML statements. So using DML statements, you can change the data. So the data can be managed by the transactional control language. Then what are the commands we are going to use in TCL? First one is commit. Commit means what? Saves any transaction into the database permanently. So if you want to permanently save any changes means you have to use the commit command. Second one, rollback. Rollback means it restores the database to last commit state. Then save point. Temporarily save the transactions so that you can roll back. So commit means you can permanently save the data in the database. Save point means you can temporarily save a transaction in the database. Then the last one is a data query language. Data query language is DQL. SQL means it's a structured query language. DQL means it's a data query language. Consists of commands used to query or retrieve data from the database. So one such SQL command is a data query language. Okay. So the command is select. It displays the records from the table. So the next topic we are going to see is data types. So what do you mean by data type? In C++ we have seen. What do you mean by data type? Data type means it's a type of data. What type of data you had given as a input. Then what type of data you have take it as a output. So the data in a database is stored based on kind of value stored in it. This is identified as the data type of the data or by assigning each field of data type. All the values in a given field must be on the same type. So all the values in the given field. Suppose in case you are giving the same field, you have to give the same data type values. Serial number means it's an integer value. Admission number means it is an integer value. In case student's name means it's a character data type. Then average means it's a float data type. Then total mark means it is a integer data type. So if you have taken one field means that field alone you have the same data type only you have to specify. So the ANSI SQL standard recognize only text and number data type, while some commercial programs use other data types like date and time, etc. So the ANSI SQL standard recognize only text and number data type. Some other commercial programs we are using data types like date and time. Date means what? You have month, date and year. You have a date format. Otherwise month, date and year, or date, month and year, or year, month and date. Something like that. Then time data type means you have seconds, minutes and hours. Otherwise hours, minutes and seconds. Some format is there. But in ANSI SQL standard we have only text and number data type. So the first data type is a character data type. What do you mean by character? Character means it's a alphabets. Okay, it's a single character. Otherwise it's a sequence of characters enclosed with the single quotes. Like in C++, enclosed with the single quotes. Then the second data type is variable with character string. Variable character, where character means it's a variable with character string. This is similar to character except the size of the data entry vary considerably. So in character you have some specific number of characters, up to this characters, up to 20 characters, otherwise up to 10 characters, like that. Like we are creating the password, no, something like that. But in variable character you have the size of the data entry may vary. Okay. Then the third one is a decimal. Decimal means what? Decimal itself represents the fractional number, that is 15.12. In your textbook page number 210, 15.12, 0.123, something like that. It is a decimal value. Here the size argument consists of two parts. That is, the 15 is called a precision and the right side of the decimal point is called a scale. So the precision indicates how many digits the whole number may have. Okay, that is the whole number. The left side of the decimal point is called the precision. The right side of the decimal point is called the scale. Okay, the size 5, 2 indicates the precision as 5 and the scale as 2. The scale cannot exceed the precision. The scale cannot exceed the precision. Underline that line. So the scale is always lesser than precision. Then the next one is numeric. Numeric is same decimal except that the minimum number of digits may not exceed the precision arguments. That is the whole numbers. Okay. Then integer value. Integer value, it represents a number without decimal point. So here the size argument is not used. What do you mean by size argument is not used? Now you can give any whole numbers. Then the small integer. Here you have to give the size value, default size value you have to give. So here small integer, it is the same as integer, but the default size may be smaller than integer. Then the next type is float type. The float type, it represents a floating point number in a base 10 exponential notation and may define a precision up to maximum 64. So floating point means it's the exponential value. The base is 10 and up to the 64 precision values. Then the real value, it is the same as float except the size argument is not used and may define precision up to maximum of 64. Then the double means what? Same as real, it's like a real value, but except the precision may exceed 64. But in real values, real data type, maximum value is 64. The precision value is 64. Then for double, it may exceed 64.